We've talked so much about these quarterbacks, and understandably so. But now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. We're 2 days away. Give us the 5 best players in this draft who do not play quarterback. David, the floor is yours.
I mean, at some point we are allowed to talk about the defensive side of the football, right? Like that's legal. Like we can talk about a linebacker maybe with Micah Parsons, who is an absolute freak show that can fly all over the field, can blitz, can play in space. I mean, he opted out this past year, so you didn't see a ton of him. But man, you talk about a guy that you can plug and play, that can blitz the quarterback, get after the quarterback. You talk about guys being positionless and being able to, I mean, the dude ran a 4.4 40. I mean, Micah Parsons is an absolute stud. We haven't even talked about him leading up to the draft because he's not a quarterback. Rashawn Slater from Northwestern. This dude is a stud, man. When I watch him, he can play everywhere on the field. He's got sweet feet, unbelievable balance, good power. It's debatable for me big time with him and Penei Sewell of who's going to be the first guy drafted. I think he's got more polish. All you got to do is turn on the Ohio State game from a couple years ago against Chase Young. More than held his own. That is pretty unbelievable. So when you go to the next guy, who's my next guy, Allie? I couldn't hear you in my ear.
DeVonta
Smith. DeVonta Smith. When you go to him, DeVonta Smith, he's not big. Obviously weighed in at 166, but can run routes so smoothly, can pluck the ball so smoothly, so good after the catch. He's not a guy that I'm worried about because the game has changed and you see him. He doesn't get hit a lot going over the middle of the field. He can run every route in the book. No Jalen Waddle, no Henry Ruggs, no Jerry Jeudy, and you could see you could feed him and he could absolutely carry your team. Jamar Chase is a running back, dude. I mean, it's unbelievable. He can break tackles. He's big, he's thick, he's physical. You ain't worried about his durability, but if you throw a ball near him, he's going to catch it. Jamar Chase, a couple years ago with Joe Burrow, unbelievable. You couldn't stop him in zone. You couldn't stop him in man. You couldn't stop him, period. Joe Burrow always looked his way when he needed a big play, and Jamar Chase is the best receiver in this draft. Kyle Pitts. He's the best player in this draft outside of Trevor Lawrence. Call him whatever you want to call him. Call him a wide receiver. You can call him a tight end. Either way, he's good. He can dominate at any position. When you play in defense and you have to know where a guy is on every play, it's not as simple as we're going to double team him because he lines up at tight end. Is there a receiver outside of him? Okay, does the corner come in? Okay, now he's lined up in the slot. What do we do? How do we adjust? The whole defense has to adjust. 6'6", running 4.4, running by corners, running by corners and linebackers, dunking on corners, plucks the ball. He's so dang talented, so good. You can move him all over the field. So those are 5 guys, Greeny, that we're going to see that are instant playmakers and big-time dudes at the next level.
Well, that's an outstanding list, and it's interesting to note that 3 of the 5 of them opted out of this season. Micah Parsons didn't play this year, Rashawn Slater didn't play this year, and Jamar Chase didn't play this year, so a lot of fans may not remember them. I'm glad we did. Because we have 2 offensive linemen here, look, I'm cheering along as you are repping Rashawn Slater, who will be Northwestern's first-round pick since 2005. But I'm sure a lot of people are expecting Penei Sewell to be the first lineman off the board. So let me ask the O-lineman here. Jeff Saturday, as you've looked at the tape of those 2 guys, how do you see them? Because this is an extremely important pick that teams are going to make in the top 10.
Yeah, the margin between these 2 is very narrow. And I would say the issue, and what Pollack was bringing up about Slater, is the versatility, right? He really has played 4 out of 5. He could move throughout the offensive line, right? So if you want him at right tackle, he's an extremely intelligent player. He's very polished in his technique. He understands hand placement, hat placement. And again, he's put his hand in the dirt on both sides of the field, both sides of the line of scrimmage, and understands it. I think Sewell, to me, is a true left tackle. And I think, his ceiling is probably higher than Slater's, but at the end of the day, again, the margin is so tight between the guys. Both guys are plug and play. They can go play this season and affect and help your team and contribute to your team winning right now. I like both those guys.
Yeah, Slater's dad, by the way, was Reggie Slater, played 7 years in the NBA. Penei Sewell won the Outland Trophy at 19 years old. D. Wood, how do you see those 2?
Yeah, listen, I love both of those guys. And I think, for me, you got to look for things that kind of separate guys a little bit. And I think Rashawn Slater, his versatility. Guy who's played multiple positions, and you're talking about, a guy like myself, I played multiple positions on the offensive line. Bill Belichick used to tell me the more you can do, the better player you are. So just that versatility alone, I'm going to give him the slight edge. But I think Penei Sewell is the best pure left tackle in this draft.
Yes.
Fascinating. Just quickly on that, I was on a Zoom with Pat Fitzgerald, who was Rashawn Slater's coach at Northwestern yesterday, and he said a year ago, people were saying, well, what is he? Is he a tackle? Is a guard? Like that was a negative thing. A year later, his versatility is being viewed as a positive thing. It's amazing the way people's perceptions change just that fast. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.